Hey guys, in this video, we're gonna go over the new Gleaming Starlight bundles that came out this week in BDO. Since these are RNG bundles, we're going to find the average amount of pearls you can expect when you open one of these boxes to see if it could be worth getting compared to other sales or RNG boxes. So, a little bit on the Gleaming Starlight bundles themselves. They are currently selling for 940 pearls each on the Pearl store and can be bought in packs that give up to a 10% off discount for a theoretical base price of 846 pearls each. These are the type of RNG bundles that give guaranteed items with an additional chance of getting multiple additional items. The Gleaming Starlight bundles give a guaranteed 300 Cron stones along with a Giovin Grolin's support scroll on open. They also have a chance of obtaining multiple additional items based on a set rate. On average, you're expected to get around 1.9 bonus items on top of the guaranteed items. This bundle functions very similarly to a recent RNG bundle, the Shining Travel bundle, which we will compare later on in this video. Now that we know how the bundle generally works though, how can we find the average amount of pearls you're expected to get when you open one of these RNG bundles? The way we find it is by simply getting the chances or rates of each item and multiply it by the value of these items to get the contribution each chance of getting an item gives to the overall value of the box. We simply add up all these contributions to get the total value of this RNG box. Now, luckily for us, all the rates of these boxes are supplied by PA. The only thing we have to do is redistribute the 7% chance of getting a Gleaming Starlight bundle to the other items in this box, as we are currently trying to figure out the value of the Gleaming Starlight bundle, so we can't use those rates. This does make the chances of getting the guaranteed 300 crons 107% on average, but that does make sense though, as if you open a Gleaming Starlight bundle from this bundle and open it a second time, you would be getting the 300 crons twice, making the average chance of obtaining 300 crons to be greater than 100%. Other than the 7% redistribution though, everything else stays the exact same as PA has given us. Now for the value side, all these items we simply use the prices that they are on the Pearl store or a simple valuation for the stacks and scrolls. Most of these prices are Pearl values that is similar to how PA values items, but of course can differ from person to person. We also did value this RNG box purely based on crons, which we will show later in this video. Now, the only special items that we haven't seen before and need to value are the two additional boxes that PA has added as a drop, the Luminous Outfit box and the Radiant Journey box. The Radiant Journey box's value is pretty easy to get, as there is no RNG, you simply get every item contained in this box guaranteed. All we had to do to value this box is simply sum up all the items' values and input in the total value to be 11,900 pearls. This is quite a lot if you do manage to get this box, but there are a lot of filler items that some people may not want. Of course, for the Cron only value, we only measured the Premium Outfit box, which is worth 3,400 pearls. Moving on to the more complicated box, we have the Luminous Outfit box, which gives you either Crons or Premium Outfits based on a set rate. We value this box using the same method we are currently using for the Gleaming Starlight bundle, by using the rates and values of each items. On average, we can predict that this special RNG box will give 16,366 pearls, which is quite high. The interesting thing about this bundle is that it may appear standalone on the Pearl shop in the future, so do keep your eyes out for that. It also contains 100% crons with no filler items or even stacks, which can be very appealing to some players. Of course, for its debut RNG box, you only have a 1% chance of obtaining the Luminous Outfit box, so do keep that in mind. Now that we have all the values though, we just need to get the contribution. After multiplying the rates and values together to get the contribution, then adding up all the contributions, we can see that on average, this box will give 3,672 pearls per box for a base cost of 940 pearls. Since you on average will get 3,672 pearls for the price of 940, This is similar to the box having a discount of 74%. A 74% discount equivalence is actually pretty good for an RNG box. When bought at a 10% discount though, this box would have a 77% discount equivalence as the base price would be 846 pearls. This box is most definitely better on average compared to the Shining Travel bundle, even when it was sold at a 15% discount. The reason why the discount equivalence is so high when you have a 10% discount is because the base price of this box is pretty high at 940 pearls compared to some boxes which range around the 500 pearl mark. However, it is still going to be worse than the Blacksmith shiny boxes and Badum gift boxes on average, as those were closer to an 80% discount equivalence. This is not too surprising as those have been the best RNG boxes sold in quite a while. One thing to note though is that those two boxes did not have the guaranteed 300 crons that this box has, which could be a benefit for some people who are more risk adverse. Now that brings us on to the next point, which is the Cron only values. If we remove all items that aren't crons, including stacks and other buffs / miscellaneous items, we end up with a total value of 2,401.64 pearls. This gives a discount equivalence of 61% at full price and 65% if you buy the bundles at 10% off. The large gap is again because of the high price of the original boxes being 940 pearls. For an RNG box, a Cron-only discount equivalence of 65% is actually pretty decent and comparable to the other RNG boxes mentioned earlier. For example, the Shining Travel bundle, even at 15% off, only had a Cron discount equivalence of 64%. Now of course, the Gleaming Starlight bundle is still going to be slightly worse compared to the Badum gift box and Blacksmith shiny boxes in terms of crons only. So now that we know all of the numbers, what is my general recommendation for this RNG box? In general, even though at first glance it seems like this box contains a lot of random items, it is actually a pretty decent box with a discount equivalence of 77%. If you are someone who bought the Shining Travel bundles, this RNG box is definitely on average going to be better. The interesting thing is that this week we also have the Pearls Blessing event, which gives a ton of discount coupons and bonus items that will most definitely make the Gleaming Starlight bundles a lot better than any other RNG box bought without this event. For people who consistently buy items such as crons and artisans on the Pearl store, I would definitely recommend checking out these RNG boxes with this event. For lower spenders, there really is nothing that incredibly unique or interesting about these RNG boxes. It's just a way to get cheaper Pearl items, so can be a skip for those people. The Pearls Blessing event is definitely what makes these boxes intriguing. Without the event, it would still be a top 5 RNG box, but definitely not a top 2, at least at 10% off. But that's basically it for this video. The Gleaming Starlight bundle is a little bit of a buffed Shining Travel bundle, specifically made for this Pearl Blessing event to make people spend a little bit more pearls without giving the insane value that the Blacksmith shiny boxes gives. I do kind of prefer the items in this box specifically as it doesn't have the origins of Dark Hungers that have dropped in value quite severely quite recently. It really is a pretty decent box and pretty good for people who only value crons. Either way though, I do hope you all learned something from this video, and I do hope to see you all next time.